Welcome back to our journey through Battlestar Galactica. This is episode 4, so we've watched the miniseries and the first 3 episodes. If you're new here, we watched Battlestar Galactica 1978 over the course of a year over on our Patreon, and our fans wanted us to move on to this show. So we are doing that here, and to be honest, it was a little bit of a rewiring of our brains at first, because we watched Star Trek mainly, so getting back used to serialized TV was a little bit difficult, but I think I'm finally starting to get the hang of it.
Yeah, especially down here. There's other shows I watch that are serialized, but in this format, watching serialized TV feels so foreign to me. And I was kind of like lukewarm on this show, but I think of all people, Richard Hatch brought me back in, who was a character I didn't really care for that much in the original show. But his performance in episode 3 was stellar, given the new Apollo the push, and I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, and I thought that he did a great job passing that torch, and it actually, for the first time so far, made the new Apollo look like a real character I can get behind. He made that decision at the end about the elections for the president, so some tension there with him and Adama. I'm starting to get into these storylines. Yeah, it's a weird concept. We're so used to turning on the camera, watching an individual story, and then talking about it. This is definitely a bit more of a throwback to the old channel of, following through a series, and also, like, the dedicated discussions and everything is great for Star Trek because we love it so much, but just being able to turn on a show, watch it, talk about it for a few minutes, and on to the next, it's a nice little kind of retro feeling for us.
It really is, yeah. And we have the boomers, 2 boomers, and we have like sleeper agents, it seems. That's an interesting storyline, and yeah, I'm excited to jump in.
Oh shit.
Oh, you're the worst, the absolute worst.
Everyone is oddly in good spirits here.
0. You're not ready yet?
Oh.
Someone's gonna have to pick that up.
It's gotta be the hardest thing to clean up, red paint.
Ugh.
Unload this. Put it wherever.
I can't wait for everyone here is having fun. Then Ty's just gonna walk in. It's gonna get silent. What are you guys doing? Oh, 1,000 landings, huh? It's the cake. Oh, cake, huh?
Yeah, remember the original Ty in the original Battlestar Galactica threw him the bachelor party? This Ty ruins their party. You just know something's about to happen.
Like, is that missile gonna like shoot him? What?
Oh.
Let's go.
Fire and fortune are dead.
We should have known with how depressing the show is that happening was going to lead to the most ridiculous, horrible, painful.
Yeah, and not even by something nefarious, just, random.
Yeah, just bad Velcro strap or ratchet strap, whatever.
I guess there could be the implication of like, oh, they're all messing around, so they didn't, check it, safely enough or whatever. But it's like, God damn, at least he went out with a bang.
Well,
oh, some sex. There's always sex in the preview. Try to only half pay attention to this because I don't want to be too.
oh yeah, good point. Yeah.
Not self-aware.
Metal fatigue. Old equipment.
Who are you?
Looks familiar.
Never had a death on my hangar deck. Commander Adama, Zach's father.
I know, sir.
A little bit of backstory, lore.
Once again, we are charged with a solemn duty.
The burdens of this life are with us.
All right, that must be Zach.
I wish it was like a more well-known actor as like a cameo, like.
Matt Damon.
Yeah.
The cure and the knowledge that we will be reunited with them.
It just gave me a huge flashback. I just remembered in the original show, first episode, Adama's wife dies in the attack, and like Apollo is there at the house, and Adama's like looking at the picture of his wife. But in this show, I don't even think they mentioned her, so I guess she was already dead or something.
I'm guessing
That's her, so maybe they'll show us. That's an interesting note. They were hooking up, and she wasn't even under Captain Adama's, command yet, so he didn't even know her until after he was dead.
Then after she got him killed, then he hired her.
I have to start training new pilots.
There it is.
I think this is first smile.
It's weird.
You know, I don't know if I'd be of any use to you.
This is about Zach. It's not your fault. You had nothing to do with what happened.
She kind of did.
How about that?
Just give him the attention and the professionalism that you gave my son.
Yeah, and I bet he still doesn't know.
Nope.
Hopefully Apollo doesn't accidentally bring it up, assuming that he already knows.
Yeah, remember when Starbuck killed Zach? What?
10 Cubit says she takes him this time.
Oh, he's back at the table.
Oh, shit. I was literally about to bring up. Where's Baltar?
More sex.
Look away, Josh. I'll let you know when it's safe. Imagine being this guy. Yeah, we have one scene for you. You're playing a dead character, so for the most part it'll be your picture, but in an actual scene, you will be having sex with Katie Sackhoff. What?
How are you and the doc here doing on your silent detector? Or has it that Cylons look like people, and you guys are working on a way to weed them out?
Of course, Crashdown would already know the rumors.
You passed. By the skin of your teeth.
Oh, he doesn't even know. Still have no clue what's going on with this storyline.
I just hope the two boomers meet each other and and they have a cool fight scene.
There you go.
Medical supplies.
I assume the Cylons sent her just to keep an eye on this guy, but programmed her not to, programmed her to be a sleeper agent. But I just wonder why the Cylons want to watch this guy. Do they think this guy's that much of a threat? Do they need to watch him?
Who knows?
Madam President.
What the fuck is this?
So anytime a new actor shows up.
Would you mind explaining to me why you waited 5 years in between breast exams?
I was busy.
It's too damn late to operate. The cancer's too far advanced.
Have you ever heard of Kamala extract?
Oh, gods. I would seriously consider prayer.
Yep. She's cooked.
I like that doctor, though.
Yep. No nonsense doctor.
You are joining the Colonial Fleet, boys and girls, not some after-school club. Pilots call me Starbuck. You may refer to me as God.
You know, all these pilots are probably dead by now.
From now on, your name is Hot Dog, and when God speaks, Hot Dog, you listen. Maybe if you learned it at the academy, you wouldn't have washed out.
Ooh.
Sit up.
How many of these fuckers are gonna die?
That's what I was saying. I think they're probably all dead at this point.
Oh, okay.
Either, ones who die here even, or just by the time it gets to the present where we are, they've probably all been killed by Cylons.
This is the present, right?
This isn't a flashback?
No.
With her training the pilots?
No.
Yes, sir. This was only our first day.
No. It's your last. It'd be criminal to let any of you near a Viper again.
They were probably the top prospects.
Got rid of Hot Dog already.
You can't wash them out in their first day.
I just did.
Look, I've got 40 Vipers and 21 pilots.
21 pilots?
Is it a 21 Pilots reference?
I will not, repeat not, pass another student who isn't ready.
I was gonna say, she's probably flipped it really hard on its head because...
It's Zach.
Careful.
So then I'm trying to get the timeline straight. So that scene earlier with Adama, though, was that still flashback? Because I thought that was right after the funeral.
No, when they're having a drink on the water? No.
Oh. So who the hell was training the pilots before?
I'm sure they had someone.
Starbuck says they can't cut it. They can't cut it.
Don't spill the beans, bro.
Are these two still beefing because of the whole thing with the president?
Probably underlying.
You should talk to her. She's walking around with a lot of emotion. She almost decked me in the rec room.
He's like, just sounds like a normal day for Starbuck.
I think she's trying to work out her guilt over what she did for Zach.
Guilt.
Oh, God.
What did she do for Zach?
Oh. That was an Office-type pan zoom.
Yeah.
What did she do?
Make something up!
It's not my place to say, and I've already said more than I should have. You'll have to ask her. I'm sorry.
Just tell him that she gave him head the day of the exam or something.
Yeah, I don't think Apollo's witty enough to come up with something on the spot.
I guess I'm glad he didn't go all the way, at least. I'm just like, well, I've already said something, so...
By the skin of your teeth, but you passed. Zach.
We saw that. Maybe I would have known the timelines better if she had been wearing glasses and a ridiculous wig.
He said that you might have been feeling guilty about something that you did for Zach.
I don't know, you'd have to ask Lee. I don't really know what he was talking about, so...
Don't fence with me, Kara. I love you like a daughter. I don't deserve that.
Zach failed basic flight, and I should have flunked him, but I didn't.
Ooh.
That was tough.
But I want you to understand that I...
Do your job. And walk out of this cabin while you still can.
Good Lord. He said that like he was going to deck her.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that guy. That's what I call acting right there. Katie too, obviously. And me. No, seriously. Yeah, great stuff all around. They just got done packing. Unpack!
Yep.
Unpack your gear.
uh...
Cat, Chuckles, Hot Dog, you're up first.
Nice.
Yeah, her taking off the hat earlier.
Yeah,
He takes it off.
Yep, good stuff.
And the moral of this story is...
Never leave your leader.
Are we actually going to see how she gets in that situation? I definitely thought they were just going to throw that in.
Oh, what are those?
It's the Cylons.
Oh,
Why
thanks.
didn't we see them coming?
And they're going to be like, we can fight. No.
Yeah, exactly. We got this! Literally like their second day of training.
Stay together and keep your throttles firewalled until you hit that deck. Now go.
Never leave your leader.
Hey, Hot Dog, where are you going?
Oh, no, not Hot Dog. Just blown up immediately.
Hot Dog, I thought I told you to get your ass home.
You said never to leave your leader.
And I also said never disobey an order.
Come on, dude.
Oh, crap me.
Dude, their Vipers are, I mean, I get it, there's, Adama doesn't like connected technology or whatever, but it's like their Vipers seem pretty vulnerable. It's like, you know what I mean?
I guess, yeah.
But I guess what can you do? It's just a little ship, but...
Ooh, now that Cylon and her are going to have a enemy mine situation. Hey, this isn't that tense because we've seen this 30 fucking times.
Yeah, I was going to talk about it after, for sure. That's good she ejected. I'm sure she's going to parachute.
I knew it'd be a part 2. I knew it. I fucking knew it. Fuck, turn this off.
I wonder what makes them decide, because it's already a serialized show. So
Yeah.
it's like, I wonder what makes them decide, like, what needs to be a to-be continued versus just the end of the episode. Because, like, that could have just ended the episode. I wouldn't have been surprised. Like, okay, it's a serialized show.
Yeah. But I had a feeling this was going to be a part 2. Just like the way everything was playing out, how there wasn't really that much going on in terms of, like, the other stories. It was all this slowly Starbucks story. I'm like, this is probably going to be a part 1. I'm glad I was right. And yeah, that was very similar to the 78 series. They just have random part 1 and 2s all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, this episode was good.
Yeah, obviously, I think the scene with Starbuck and Adama, best scene of the entire series thus far, from both actors, Edward James Olmos as Adama and
Katie Sackhoff.
Katie Sackhoff, thank you. Starbuck, both amazing. I wanted to look up real quick, what was his name? Lauren Green, the original Adama?
That was the original Adama.
Yeah, Lauren Green was amazing. Like, for the show that he was in, him and Baltar, played by
John Calicos.
John Calicos, were just like above everything else in that show. So I still love him, and I love those performances. But Edward James Olmos here, like, I can already tell why he, got cast as this role and why he's so great. That scene where he finds out about Zach, I feel like he played it perfectly. Like, you could do so many ways to like act in that scenario, but he's like, it's a mix of like the anger, sadness, depression. There's a moment where like when Starbuck starts to break down and like his anger goes away for a second as he realizes that she's breaking down, but then it comes back and he's angry again by the end of the scene. So just like going through so many emotions like that is so great.
And you can tell all of that, and his face barely moves. It's like all this in his eyes and his little tiny face twitches. Like he wasn't like, oh.
Yeah, he
you know what I mean? Yeah. He was just like, because the whole thing about like how crying works in acting is like you try not, because people try not to cry in real life, and he's holding it back, and they were both holding it back, and that's why it was so successful. Just great scene, and just I just love when a show or an episode starts off so happy, and you just know that literally the bomb's gonna drop.
Yeah, literally what happened.
Just a like comm missile just goes off of the hangar bay. It's like, come on.
So, yeah, especially in this show, it's like it's not gonna go well. Feel bad for that guy. And then also, I forget his name, but the one who like works on the deck too, about how he's like, I've never had a death, on my deck. It's
the chief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, really good episode. We love character stuff. That's kind of our thing, and I think thus far the reason we had kind of been lukewarm up to this point, and even a little bit last episode, is because we had said like in our first episode, which like a lot of people really love the pilot of this show, and like while it's good and like the tension and stuff is cool, like we said there wasn't a lot of meat on the bone, and like I feel like what we meant by that was like character wise, because like there just wasn't enough time to set that all up, because it was such a plot heavy pilot. But now it's like there's time, and it's like they can set up this stuff. This episode is basically all Starbuck, which is like what I've been waiting for. Like, come on, let's get Starbuck in the show. And we got it here. We even got backstory and this present stuff. So obviously that makes me care about her more moving forward. Weird editing choices.
Yeah.
You already mentioned it.
To the point where you thought it was like a flashback the entire time Starbuck was training the new people.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I wonder if they're dead now. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what, the actors?
Yeah. I mean, we have made fun of in the past, like, when a show does a flashback and making the character look ridiculous so they're younger. But there is truth to that. Like, the lighting was different, it was a little bit, her hair was a little bit different, but like I did get confused a little bit with the timelines. Is that just because I'm stupid? Sure, I'll take partial responsibility for that. But I was paying attention, and it would make sense that right after Zach would die, he would ask her to train the pilot. So I did get a little bit lost, but obviously I caught back up eventually. They were able to, get me up to speed, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But the biggest editing choice for me is what you already brought up, was Starbuck in the ship blowing up, already shown at the beginning. And it wasn't even part of like that preview, the episode preview. Like if it was just a shot of her in the episode preview, whatever. But literally the opening of the episode, it shows that, and then it shows it multiple times throughout, to where by the time we see the Cylon battle, we know that's where it's gonna go.
Right, yeah.
And so when it's happening, it wasn't that tense. Imagine if we hadn't seen any of that, and then that's the end of the episode. I feel like we would have been like, holy shit.
Yeah, that would have been a much better to be continued.
So why do that? Like, gotta hook them, I guess. Like, it's just an odd choice, I feel like.
I don't know. Part of me feels like, oh, we have flashbacks, but is this a flash forward? What is it? I'm like, oh, well, I assume if a ship is crashing, I'm assuming it's a flash, and it was. But I just feel like there might even have been a sliver of tension if we didn't see it beforehand.
Yeah.
Especially if we've been building Starbuck up as the best pilot ever, and then seeing her go down on this unknown planet, wondering if she's gonna. I mean, I think we know she's gonna pull the thing and get out, but it would have been more tense if we did. Even in the flash forward, we saw her pull the thing and get out, like with her CGI.
Yeah, true.
With her CGI body. It's like,
and also too, the whole fact that the setup of that scene with Hot Dog, where she's like, never leave your leader, then she goes and he's like, you said never leave your leader. Had not seen the beginning, I thought the whole climax would have been built around Hot Dog being killed and her having to once again have that guilt, but it swerves you, and it's actually her. Like, he seems to be able to escape, and she gets in this thing. But because you've already seen that's going to happen, it just, it kind of took away from it. There has to be a reason, though, writing and editing-wise. Like, I'm trying to think in their minds, like, what was the purpose of, like, I'm trying to not be so pessimistic as to think, like, oh, it's only because they want you to keep watching the episode. Like, there has to be a writing reason But I just, I don't know.
My guess, not that it's the same people or anything, but 78's part 2s, weren't they much better than the part 1s?
Yeah.
Weren't they? So maybe
Typically.
maybe the part 2 is going to fix all this. I don't know.
But I will say though, I really liked it. This was really good. Like a lot of those part 1s in 78 were brutal because they just took what should have been a normal story, cut it in half. And so it was just like a whole. This didn't feel like a part 1 that much to me in the sense of we got that scene, you know, with her and Adama. Like we got some story beats there. So I'm excited to see where it goes in the next episode, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah, if this is your first time watching our channels, watching this show with us, this is what these post-episode recaps are going to be. Even when we enjoy the episode, there's going to be stuff that we dig into or critique. That's just how we are. If you don't like that, you can just leave the video as soon as the episode reaction ends. but yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and I think if above all else, we clearly have a pretty great group of actors here. So I'm excited to see, you know, where it goes.